So the key thing here is, so what does that mean for sellers, right? How's that going to impact us? And I think fundamentally that could affect fee structures for us, but also the way Amazon operates.
Potentially good news for sellers, definitely good news for shareholders. Maybe not the best news for people who rely on that.
This is the benefit that we're going to get, right? So we're going to have to pay for more of our traffic, but I think we get the opportunity to pay less for it each of those clicks. So in essence, what we're saying here is like you're probably going to end up with a lot less organic traffic. You're going to be paying for it, but because you can target consumers better, cost per clicks are coming down as a part.
So the predictions for 2026 are going to be basically what we're going to try and predict today are the key tech things that are going to be important in 2026 that are coming up and going to affect people who are selling online and marketplaces. So hey team, welcome to Upside, where we discuss all things marketplace, tech, and online. And I am pumped. It's 2026. It's the first recording of the year, and I am on with the Golden God, Zamir. Thanks for jumping in. This is being recorded remotely. We're not in our studio.
Ali, I've got separation anxiety. It's been almost 4 weeks. When you're coming home?
There's some distance here. So you're in sunny London with sub-zero temperatures. I happen to be on literally the other side of the planet in New Zealand. But it's all good. It's all good. We are making it happen. And so this episode, we want to talk through predictions for 2026. And it's easy to do this stuff because this is going to be fun to review in a few months from now. Well, 12 months from now. But not just in-time predictions. Samir, tell us the types of predictions we're going to talk through today.
I think, AI is going to feature fairly heavily, but I want to kind of have a think about I think the market's going to change. I think we're going to see some significant shifts across online, particularly marketplaces. I think social is going to play a huge part in that. And I think Amazon's got a massive part in there too.
So the predictions for 2026 are going to be basically what we're going to try and predict today are the key tech things that are going to be important in 2026 that are coming up and going to affect people who are selling online and marketplaces. So you got a sneak peek through Zamir's answer. But we should run through. We should run through what we think they are. So yes, okay, you ask anyone, what's your prediction for technology stuff that's going to affect 2026? And they're all going to be like, yeah, AI. Okay, cool. Great. But let's get specific. What's your one? I think we've got like 2 or 3 each. So do you want to go through your one? And then we'll do like a tag team. We'll do tennis.
Okay, we'll do some tennis. Okay, fine. I think the key one here is that I think Amazon's got a huge gain that they're going to see over 26, 27. I think this continues. They've got an incredible infrastructure built. We know Amazon's more than just a retailer, right? They're an infrastructure company. And I think AI gives a much bigger benefit to infrastructure than it does to digital, just because of the overheads that infrastructure has. Amazon's got the opportunity to scale dramatically without adding a huge amount of cost to their base now, their physical base. And I think that gives them a huge advantage.
So what you're talking about is not the advantage that AI is going to give them is not necessarily just in the software side of what they're doing in terms of the marketplace or the platform that people buy on, but rather it's going to be in how they will be able to essentially reduce or maintain headcount while expanding. That's what you're really talking about.
Yeah, exactly. It's that ability to store inventory and move it around and get it to customers more efficiently.
Okay, cool. And
it's that silent part that makes them exceptional, that no one really questions, but is a huge cost to them. And they've invested in huge amounts over the last 25 years.
Yeah, fine. So I think the tech kind of side of thing in this is really that's going to affect things is it sad to say, but people like getting replaced? Is that what we're talking about?
I don't think it's necessary. I don't think they're going to look to replace
people. You're talking about the machinery, right? You're talking about like the bots that are doing all the fulfillment work.
This is already there. I just see that they're going to be able to scale. They're going to be able to handle a lot more without increasing that cost. I don't see them having to increase headcount hugely. I don't think I think they'll just they have that infrastructure. They'll better utilize it. and they can probably come close to doubling in size from where they are now without having the same increase in their cost base.
Yeah, because I mean, like Ocado does that, right? So Ocado uses similar robots in their own warehouses as well, and so it's going to be places that rely heavily on blue collar human labor will be able to be optimized.
Yeah.
Please don't hate me. Or have some stuff done. Like, because I think in the holidays, right, they have a massive seasonal spike in the amount of people they have to hire over the holidays and train and hire, and so that has a cost. And so by being able to do that and rely on robots more, they'll be able to just kind of scale and not have the headache of having to hire people and manage people and recruit and all that kind of stuff and train people.
So the key thing here is, so what does that mean for sellers, right? How's that going to impact us? And I think fundamentally that could affect fee structures for us, but also the way Amazon operates. I think there are two things. They're going to want to grow fast.
Sharing in philosophy, right?
Yeah, exactly, right. No, so I think it's completely opposite. So I think the way they're going to look at this is, up until now, we know FBA fees exist, right? So we're renting their physical infrastructure with FBA fees. The commission fees up until now, I think we've looked at it as covering two things. One is kind of like the website, right? It's everything it does in transacting, and the traffic. And I think Amazon has definitely been splitting that out, and it's been like, actually, no. So ultimately, that 15% commission is actually just to rent that digital infrastructure. So we've got FBA for the physical infrastructure. The 15% average commission rate will become for the digital infrastructure. The traffic has become increasingly monetized, and I think that's just going to increase. And I think what they're saying is right. You will effectively have to pay for all traffic, or the majority of your traffic. And I can see that that's not just this year. It's been happening for many years, and it's going to increase further as we move forward.
Okay.
So our fee structures are going to be spread out across those.
Okay.
So not great news.
Potentially good news for sellers. Definitely good news for shareholders. Maybe not the best news for people who rely on that work.
Yeah, if you rely on organic traffic, I think it's going to be tough, right?
To work that out. Yeah. Okay, fine. That's one. Do you mind if I share my little idea? Similar to what you mentioned about traffic. So it's this whole idea of AI and just the ability to process data and APIs working through and linking together, I think is going to mean that it's going to be like AMC on drugs, essentially. We're going to really be able to understand holistically where demand is working across platforms, from TikTok to Amazon to all these other places, and understand demand, and then channel our digital ad spend more effectively, essentially, in a much more kind of like really, really more logical and structured way. That's my prediction. And I think if someone can figure out, maybe us, then hey, all the better to you.
I think you're absolutely right. And I think this is the benefit that we're going to get, right? So we're going to have to pay for more of our traffic, but I think we get the opportunity to pay less for it each of those clicks. So in essence, what we're saying here is like you're probably going to end up with a lot less organic traffic. You're going to be paying for it, but because you can target consumers better, cost per clicks are coming down. We can see that happening. We know that's possible, specifically with AMC, where we're better able to target particular profiles of customers, and we will get better. What's really interesting, though, is the point you make about where social and other channels come in this and traffic, because I think on the advertising platforms, on the advertising platforms, we know all of those tools that were really DSP. People who were spending 20,000, 50,000 a month on advertising plus on DSP. All those tools have trickled down now. So smaller advertisers, right? And so now suddenly you can leverage all of that, and particularly the off-channel advertising, which I think is going to be really interesting.
I think that's the beauty of it. I think it's going to be, hopefully, there'll be some tech that evolves this year around understanding, all right, so I've run ads on TikTok and my sales have increased on Amazon. Is there a correlation? Better understand that way more directly rather than a guesstimate of turning ads on and off and trying to figure it out.
And I think that's the other point. So just kind of widening predictions away from Amazon, I think social commerce in general is going to grow up a lot this year. We're going to see a lot more consolidation there. I don't think that, and you know, this is, I don't know if we truly both agree on this point, but I don't see social commerce really competing head to head with Amazon, right? I don't think it's a zero sum game either. I think social commerce is ignition for demand. Amazon though is going to look to leverage that ignition. Amazon want to scale. I think they're set and they know that they're ready to scale. They're going to be looking to utilize social commerce and those partnerships to ignite demand. And so, like I say, not a zero sum game. Really interesting. Amazon's going to essentially take sellers and brands and use us with our advertising budget to scale demand off platform. I can see that happening.
Which brings me to my next prediction, but I don't want to jump ahead unless you allow me to. Okay.
Go for it.
So next prediction is one that freaks me out. Okay. I do not deny how much AI freaks me out. It really scares me. But this is one that will kind of bug me, which is dynamic pricing based on you, right? Because all these tech companies will have an understanding of you as a customer and as a person. We just talked about it in AMC, right? And so they can target you more effectively, but then they can also adjust pricing based on this. And what freaks me out is if this, and it is going to move offline into retail shelves as well. And so dynamic pricing becoming a thing both in digital and the digital marketplaces, but also for all the brands that we look after and all the people who are out there and sell physical products into physical retail, I should say. Dynamic pricing into supermarkets. That is going to be a thing. Don't know what your thoughts
When
are.
you say dynamic pricing into supermarkets, are we talking physically or digitally?
I'm talking like literally, you're on the supermarket shelf. You're looking at the price of milk or eggs, and it's going to be different based on the time of the day, based on location, and eventually based on you. So like a Ocado that's fully online and has no physical stores, and I can only log in via my user, or my IP address. I get one set of prices, and then Zamir. So me living in North London versus Zamir living in South London get different prices for the same product. Because we know they do this, right? Because they pay Uber drivers, Instacart riders, and all these guys different prices based on random dynamics. So they will flip it over to the demand side and start doing that on the other side. That's I think it's my prediction, and that's also my big fear.
Look, we see it in digital all the time. Flights and travel have been doing it for so many years. It winds me up. It winds you.
On Skyscanner, and you hide.
I was going to say,
and you go in like incognito mode.
Well, me and you, like hotel rooms and that, we get offered completely different prices, right? Yeah. And flights, we get offered different prices. It winds us up all the time. So we know that this happens, okay? Yeah. But I mean, to be fair, we do it ourselves. So if you think of Amazon, you can promotions, you can target a particular types of customers now. Yeah. So we have that already in place to an extent. The idea of doing it in the physical world, though, I mean, it horrifies me that. So I'm just wondering. I can see a point where you're suggesting is we both walk into the same Tesco and based on our club card on our phone, me and you see different prices.
Different prices. It'd be like you can only see the price through your app or something. I don't know. This will be, and so this is my prediction. This year, if not next year. 2026?
Okay. 26, 27. Okay.
I think Denmark was testing this out. There's like a supermarket in Denmark that's testing this out. This dynamic pricing and on physical shelves.
I love it.
Because it's all digital, right? If you can run a cable through that shelf, put a pricing unit on it, plug it in, and then centrally, like through some AI and AP and different tech and algorithms, just can like adjust the pricing. Because, for example, like we see it ourselves. If you can run low on stock, running low on stock. So what do? Smart.
Put price up.
Increase your price, right? And so eggs are low in supply in this part of the UK. We don't have eggs there yet, so increase price until eggs get there. Or we just know that people in Kensington or in the London's banana belt can pay more than people not in the banana belt.
The banana belt's a real thing, isn't it?
It's a legit thing, and
supposedly.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I can see it. I can see it on location. We know it happens in physical stores. Like Tesco local stores will do different from the bigger store. You know that pricing dynamics different. So physical locations, yes, but when you get to the individuals in in the same store. I mean, I can see where it eventually gets to. Maybe not in 26, 27, but
Okay,
surely.
fine. Yeah, maybe not in the same store, the same people, but I can see like a little black market of that developing as well, where you're like, hey
Yeah.
man, I can get my eggs at this price.
Oh, but digitally online, I can see it happening. No, you're right. Like
Digitally,
Ocado is
100%.
fully online, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's definitely going to happen. Yeah, or is happening. So okay, yeah. Fine, I see that one.
All right, I'll be sure. I'll hand back to you.
Oh, okay, fine. You're gonna throw it. I think one of the key my prediction. It's not so much a prediction as a continuation, right? We've seen margins squeezed year after year now, and I see that continuing. And I think this has two things, right? The first one is that anyone that's set up their business for this idea that this is a cyclical thing, I think is possibly going to be struggling. So I don't think it's cyclical anymore. I think this is a constant. I think this is a new reality. Our margins are going to continue under this pressure because if you think about it, we're seeing all of these extra costs coming in that we've already discussed. Ultimately, it's not about being campaign savvy. It's about being completely strategically your entire business model built on this new reality.
Yeah, I get that 100%, and we hear it a lot all the time, right? A lot of people come to us like, how do you make Amazon work? How do you make it work for you? And it really is because we're on the front line of it so much, and we kind of just get leaner and leaner in our approach. We're able to figure out ways of making it work. Whereas for people who are kind of like doing it passively or they're just not fully engaged in it, it becomes harder to keep up with the things you need to do. So I can see that happening. I agree, and oh man, there's so many things in this that make me sad. It's 2026, it's the beginning of the year. I want to feel pumped.
So look, I think it's not necessarily to see a downside on this. I think what it actually means is you have to put certain things into place. Look, one thing for certain is you can weaponize inventory management to give yourself a strategic advantage. Mm-hmm. For certain, that's going to be a huge opportunity.
Yeah,
we see that happening across the border, and when inventory management, cash flow has always been so closely aligned, but I think now more than ever, it poses an opportunity, particularly because the AI to manage this is far more accessible for smaller businesses now. Mm-hmm. To be able to make it a strategic advantage over your competitors who maybe aren't looking at things in the same way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so predictions summarized. 1, Amazon's going to scale because of AI. They are going to be able to lean up even more. So both good for sellers, ? Good for shareholders, definitely. Good for blue collar employees, not so much. All right, second one, which was my one, was be able to see like holistically across the internet, the whole demand funnel and all the way in the sales funnel, and be able to kind of like really understand where's the demand coming from across platforms and target advertising in a much more smart and efficient way. That's prediction number 2. Prediction number 3, dynamic pricing. It is something I fear. It's like Voldemort for me in many ways, AI overall. But anyway, so yes, that is number 3. That's going to come in for, I think, online for sure in a much more serious way. And number 4, inventory management being a strategic advantage. So software and tech around this to really help you make the most of the ever-increasing margins selling online. So yeah, optimistic. We're called the upside. It's okay. We're called upside. We're going to make this happen. It's all good. Okay, cool. So guys, those were our predictions. I'd love to know your predictions, especially in tools and tech that are going to really affect selling online in the coming year. Let me know your thoughts. It would be great. And yeah, let's deep dive into that because this could be fun. And we'll look at it. We'll check them out in December or January next year and see
how wrong we were.
Yeah, all that. Alrighty. Catch you guys on the next one. Stay awesome. One love.
One love.